Hello and welcome to neilsspanishflybox. This is the first of two videos for anybody that has no idea of how to tie a fly and has never tried to tie a fly. A real beginner's informative guide. There are over 7 million fly anglers in the United States and probably the same amount in Europe. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that there are 25 million fly fishers around the world. I imagine that about 70% of that total tie their own flies, which means that there are around 7.5 million that don't tie their own flies. So whilst these figures may be total guesswork, what I'm trying to say is please don't feel inadequate or inferior because you don't tie your own flies. You're in good company. If you haven't ever tried to tie a fly, you've come to the right place. During this video, I'll give you some information on how to enter a competition for two lucky beginner fly tyers to win a starter vise and some materials. My intention in this video, as part one, is to introduce you to this facet of fly fishing by giving you my honest 5 essentials for you to start tying your own flies from scratch. Number 1 is time. Many of us have busy lives with commitments that sometimes make spare time a rare commodity. Maybe you're still at college or school. You have homework, tests, exams, and demands from your pals. If you have a husband, wife, partner, and children, I think the general expectation is that your spare time should be spent with them. Having said that, I am assuming that you're already a fly fisher, and if you can do that without harassment from your soulmate or mum and dad, you have struck gold. Don't ever underestimate that little bit of good fortune. You may have a room, garage, or cave where you can try out your newfound skill, but it might be on the kitchen table in an apartment. Wherever you tie your flies, you need time and a teaspoon of commitment. Number 2 of my 5 essentials is patience. Please don't expect to be a super fly tyer overnight. New fly tyers seldom are. Indeed, super fly tyers are rare. You need to be patient and to practice. You need to feel your way around the vise, make sure that you're comfortable, the right height, and be in a good light. Some simple flies can make it seem an easy exercise, until your first time out on the river with your own little gem and the fly unravels. You know the saying, practice makes perfect. Number 3 is tools. It is quite possible to tie a fly without any tools at all, but I really don't recommend it. I'm not, however, going to suggest that you buy all of the tools that are on the market. I'm going to suggest just 2. Many of you may have a restricted budget, so I'm suggesting just a vise and a bobbin holder. At this stage, the quality of the vise doesn't need to be all singing and dancing. It just needs to be functional. You'll know when you want to upgrade your vise. This was my first vise many moons ago, and it is something along these lines that I suggest. Simple but functional. Something like this will probably cost between 15 and 20 euros, pounds, dollars, or less if you shop around. But I recommend that you avoid a standard metal spigot bobbin holder like this. This will cost 3 or 4 of your currency. But spend an extra 6 or 7 to buy a ceramic spigot like these, or a ceramic lined spigot like this. These are the options, the best options on a bobbin holder, and I suggest this for 2 reasons. 1, the metal spigot can cut through your tying material, which can be most annoying halfway through a tying. And 2, this extra investment will provide a bobbin holder that can last for years. Yes, years. We're not thinking about giving up fly tying once you've started. Number 4 is hooks. I recommend barbless fishing hooks for fly fishing. At this stage, however, if you can get a deal on barbed hooks to practice with, that's fine. If you're particularly happy with your tying, you can always gently pinch down the barb in your vise or with a pair of pliers, but barbless hooks are the way forward. I suggest a fly hook size 12 to practice on. Once you become more confident, size matters, as they say. Find the best deal that you can, and you're probably talking about 2 or 3 of your currency for hooks. Don't buy hundreds of bulk hooks from an unknown source. They are not generally a good long-term investment. Number 5 is thread. Look, you're still at the practicing stage and you could use ordinary sewing thread. That's how I started. The one disadvantage is its strength. Too much pressure and it can break. A spool of tying thread will probably cost you 2 or 3 of your currency, and I suggest that you buy 60 or 100 denier in black. When you are more proficient, you could drop down to 80 to 70 denier or even lower. So what else will you need? Buy a packet of hare's ear dubbing and some lead wire, costing around 5 of your currency for both, and we will use that in the next video. Also have some monofilament, about £3 test 6x or 0.12 millimeters, some scissors and a sewing needle. I'll assume that you will not have to buy those. Beg, borrow or buy some clear nail varnish as well. It's extremely unlikely that you will turn your back on fly tying once you've started, but I've kept to a reasonable budget just in case. So what does the future hold? I'll tell you. That wonderful feeling of catching your first trout on your own fly and a lifetime of enjoyment and relaxation at the vise. It's you that'll be hooked, not the trout. Whether you're 15 or 50, start now and it will be an investment with a lifelong return. Look out for part 2 when we'll spend some time together at the vise. I'll tie a fly first and then walk you through it while you tie as you are watching and listening to the video. The competition. All you have to do is this. Tell me how long you've been fly fishing and which is your favourite trout fly. For example, 5 years, olive nymph. You have until the 27th of November 2022 to enter. Send your reply in the comments section and I'll acknowledge each entry, then select 2 replies and notify you by responding with "you are a winner." Just to remind everybody, this is purely for total novices. I'll trust you to be honest. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting the bell, give it a like and turn on your notifications. Thanks for viewing and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.